My guest tonight is a comedian, actor, and a judge on America's Got Talent. Now he has a new podcast, Howie Mandel Does Stuff. Please welcome Howie Mandel. Howie, thank you for joining me on Zoom. That takes a real commitment.
Have I been welcomed by your audience?
Yes. They're going crazy right now. They're going nuts.
So should we hold for a second?
Yeah, hold it.
The hoopla dies down?
Hold it. Okay. I'm waiting for them to sit down. Wow, you are popular. Please, sit. There they go. They're sitting now.
Thank you.
Howie, I gotta give it to you because I haven't said this to anyone else in a year, but you were right when everyone else was wrong. For years and years, when you would come on my show, you would do the fist bump, not the handshake. You would wash your hands, and you would say that you were afraid of germs, viruses, and everybody kind of laughed it off. Mm-hmm. You were right. We were wrong. Howie, I bow to you.
I think COVID is Latin for told ya.
Yeah.
But there's really no sense of vindication. I got to tell you that this has been hell. Yeah. And for me specifically. And the comfort that I had with my discomfort was with my, it's somebody, I've been open about my mental health, and I've always, I am just a small snippet of the issues that I deal with is germaphobia. Mm-hmm. And, I've dealt with that, but the beauty was, that was my nightmare, that every so often I could be snapped out of in the real world where people go, Howie, you're not going to get, Howie, don't worry. Howie, you can shake hands. Howie, you can lick this. But now that there's no waking up from that nightmare, you're all in my dream, and it's not a dream anymore. Right. So there's no vindication. I want to be able to go out and say, Howie, you're overthinking this. Howie, you're over. So this has been a really tough time. And I think I was just talking to your producer before, I'm in therapy. I've been in therapy for years, but I think in the last year I've moved my therapist into a whole new tax bracket. This Zoom thing is, because I don't have to get in a car and go anymore. I can just click and Zoom. So
it's like buying stuff on Amazon. You can just click on your therapist's number at any time, and before you know it, you've spent hundreds of thousands of dollars talking to someone. I have,
between the therapist and Amazon, between all the protective gear that I've been able to find and has been sent to me. Also, every soap company has sent me a lifetime supply of, hand sanitizers and soaps.
Yeah, but you must have. Here's the other thing. I remember thinking about you a year ago when the pandemic was breaking out, and they said there's a PPE shortage, there's a sanitizing gel shortage. I thought, it's Howie Mandel. He has all of it. You bought all of it years ago, didn't you?
Yes, I was hoarding, but thank God I spoke to my wife, and we released not all at once, but as needed. And I think we've done a good job now.
And you know what? I'm told your prices were reasonable. You made a little something, but it was reasonable.
It's a win-win.
Now, you brought this up. You brought up your wife and your lovely wife. You've been married for how many years?
41.
41 years, but who's counting? 41 years. And you've told me many times that the secret to your marriage is that you work a lot and you go on the road.
Yeah.
And that made me curious. You've been in quarantine with your wife for a year. How's the marriage doing?
Well, like the pandemic, there's we're trying to plateau. The thing is that that's what did make it work. I realized, and now with the advent of no audiences and no theaters, I'm going crazy being with myself. So I can't imagine what it's like living with, I don't have to imagine, she tells me what it's like living with me. We had, in the first 3 months of lockdown, I think around March, April, May, what was March? I can't remember. We celebrated our 40th anniversary. And I said, honey, I was trying to be romantic. I said, you want to redo our vows? Hers was enough already.
That's her 40-year vow is enough already. What a sweet vow.
Well, she's always been, honesty is her policy. And the truth is, when I'm not around, people seem to like me more than, it's nice if I appear on your show for a few minutes, or I go to a concert for an hour and a half. People seem to have fun. Living with me is, I'm telling you this, living with me is no fun. I spend all day just trying to get away from me.
Yeah.
So I can't imagine how another human being. So I'm hoping at some point when things are open and free that I could get her a medal or a trophy. She is the most deserving person in humanity just for putting up with a world pandemic and Howie Mandel all in the same year.
At the same time.
And even when I do try humor, she'll go, was that the joke? Or who was that for? And that's actually, how the podcast came to be. I ended up calling my daughter, Jacqueline Schultz, who is an influencer in her own right, really smart, a teacher. We used to sit around for hours, and that was if I could make her and I would laugh, we'd make prank calls together. My wife would walk in and she'd hear all this laughter and goes, what is this for? And I go, what do you mean, what is this for? She goes, well, is it for a television show? Is it, what do you And I go, no, it's just us. She goes, well, then record it.
What's nice I would think about the podcast is that you're doing something useful with something that you'd be doing anyway. It sounds to me like your whole life. I mean, I've been around you. The times you've done my show, you're doing pranks backstage. You once had a guy with you who was bleeding from the ear, and we kept asking him, is he okay? And you say, oh, don't worry about him. We thought he was having some kind of brain hemorrhage. It turned out he's a friend of yours, and you guys were doing a prank on us. None of it was recorded. This had nothing to do with your appearance on the show. It was just for your own amusement. So now what's nice is you and your daughter are saying, let's capture some of that and waste more people's time with it.
I'm so sorry about that. If you want an apology.
Oh, no, don't.
Sorry. I remember that.
It was funny. It was funny.
From New York, you came to do the show in L.A.
Yeah.
Well, it's funny now. I don't think.
My producer was really worried that this friend of yours was having a brain aneurysm, and he was trying to convince that person. He was thinking about calling an EMT. We got to get this guy a brain scan, and it was you two.
Ben Affleck actually picked him up from the floor. So I brought in, he was supposed to be he was my agent and my PR guy.
Right.
I'm doing Conan. And he had these blood pellets that come out of his ears and his nose, and he was bleeding, and he would be on the floor bleeding, but asking the segment producer, is Howie Mandel going on first? My client, and they go, well, you're bleeding. Shouldn't we call somebody? He goes, it's not about me. Can I go over this segment with you?
Yes.
And they're going, no, sir, you're bleeding. And then it was fun for me just to sit back and watch this chain of events that they would go tell somebody. And you're, 5 minutes away from a huge broadcast network show where you traveled. You're not in your home studio, like you don't have enough. And I've got this idiot, my friend, lying on the floor, blood spewing out, going, can we go over the segment one more time before Howie goes on?
I remember thinking that guy's a great agent because, man, that's everyone's dream is an agent who would be bleeding from both ears and still be looking out for your interests and not going to the hospital. That's the dream. You're a judge of course, on America's Got Talent. I'm told that when Simon Cowell had his accident recently, you kind of pranked him a little bit with a gift. Is that the idea?
I don't know if that was a prank. I sent him a bike. Mm-hmm. I sent him a bicycle. He got injured on an e-bike. He said he hit the throttle on it. It threw him off. He broke his back. He ended up 6 hours of surgery. They implanted a rod in his back. I want to also say that he's fine now. He's on this season. The guy is like the bionic man. But I know that he likes bikes, and I know he likes vehicles, and I know he's not going to give it up. So I sent him the safest bike I can, so he can still enjoy the outdoors and enjoy the speed. He has that need for speed.
What was the bike?
It was a 3-wheeler tricycle. But if he wants to go fast, you just pedal. You just pedal, and you just, and he appreciated it. And that's a good look, isn't it?
Yeah.
Thank God he's got a Lauren, he's got a lady that he's with, but I don't think it's the kind of bike you're going to meet.
You should try and get him to ride it and then tell him you're putting a helmet on, but put a baby bonnet on him, and just to see if you can get him riding that down the street. I would love to see that. Okay,
I'm going to do that, and I'll get you the video. You're an idea guy, Conan, and you've always been an idea guy.
That's what I do. You know, if I can.
And that's what you just did.
That's what I just did, and we have proof that I did it because it's on a Zoom that's being recorded.
Yes.
Let me ask you a question. Are you going to be more, when this pandemic ends, are you going to be more wary of germs, do you think, than other people? Or do you think we're all going to come to your level and you're going to stay the same?
I'm hoping that I will stay the same. I don't think there is another level of neurosis or then I'm already at, and I'm hoping that people come to, like, there is no reason to ever shake a hand again. Are you looking forward to shaking a hand? Like,
you know what I will say? Howie, what? I'm a good handshaker. I give a firm grip, and I lean in, and I look you right in the eye. I've got a good, strong man's handshake. And so I'm going to lose that because I think that's the way that I impressed people.
Well, everything you said is not appealing to me. First of all, it's firm. You're holding it tight so that if there is something, it's easily.
And you know what I would do? I'd kind of pull.
And leaning in to breathe on me.
I'd lean in and I'd pull you in a little bit. And I'd be like, it's real good to see you, Howie. Really good to see you.
Well, then I don't want to ever meet you again. You know, I don't understand I really don't. When you see somebody, and even you see somebody you know, I think words are very. Are enough, really. They really are. Unless you want to procreate or have some, intimate fun, there is no reason for just an acquaintance to
no touching.
Lean in, touch, exchange moistness. I don't think there's any reason for that.
I'm going to miss exchanging moistness with people.
Isn't that what happens, though?
Yes. Yeah.
I can shake. I'll be honest with you for a minute, serious with you for a minute. I can shake hands. And the reason I don't shake hands is because I do have OCD and I don't want to be triggered if something happens. But how many times have you shaken somebody's hand and then walked away thinking, what is that? Why is it wet? What? It's the middle of winter. That's got to be, I hope that's sweat. And also we grew up, learning to cover our mouth.
Yeah, worst thing you can do.
Right, but every time you sneeze or cough, I don't see people running off to the sink to go wash their hands. So this is just a cesspool. We don't need to shake hands. So we should do I like in some of the Far East countries, I like the bow.
Oh, I do the bow a lot. I do the bow.
Yeah, you do. You do that. I see you doing that on television.
Yeah, I've been doing that for years. And now when I see people, I just do a little quick bow. And I think I honor you. I honor your existence.
I respect you.
Yeah.
I'm not touching you.
Yeah.
I'm not breathing on you.
And then I go in for the big hug.
I don't really do that. If I hug, I like spooning, and I like from behind.
Yeah,
Guess who? Good to see you.
No, I've spooned with you many times. It's nice. It's we fit.
Thank you.
I like the curve of your back. Let me make sure I get the word out. Howie Mandel Does Stuff is available wherever you get your podcast, and this is you with your daughter, and it sounds like
Jacqueline Schultz.
Yes, Jacqueline Schultz. It sounds like you're having a lot of fun.
Subscribe, please.
Yes, get out there and listen.
Congratulations on all your podcast success.
I wanted to make it
of podcasters.
Well, thank you. I always wanted to make it on my looks, and then the thing that's really worked for me has been a medium where I can't be seen. I don't know what that means. I think the universe is telling me something, but I can't wait.
Take what you can get.
Yeah,
you take what you can get.
Now you sound like my wife.
I think everybody's wife, anybody who has a wife and continues to have a wife at the end of this or through the
pandemic,
throes of this pandemic, I think we're all hearing the same lines.
Yes, we are.
And we all feel the same way.
Yes.
Now's the time they should do that show that they did on the network where they switched. What was that called? Somebody's wife went to live at somebody else's house and somebody's husband. Remember they always.
I didn't know. I mean, I've gone to parties like that, but I didn't know that was a TV show.
The Key Club. There's a TV show where somebody else's wife moves in with somebody else's family, and they did. I can't remember what it's called, but they should do that during COVID because it'd be more dangerous.
Yes, it adds that element of danger. I like that. See, you're an idea guy too, Howie.
Not only funny, you could die.
Howie, I'm going to end on that note. Thank you very much for doing this.
Death is always a good closer.
That's the way to get out. It's the ultimate closer.
All right, buddy. Rest in peace.
I want you to be well. And I can't wait to see you again with your friend who pretends to have a cerebral hemorrhage.
Vic Cohen. I'll give him a shout out. All right, buddy. Thank you.